Tonight's recipe will be for seitan. Seitan is a meat substitute that has a very meaty texture, and you can substitute it into a lot of different meals, and I'm sure in the future we'll be using it a lot. So all the time when we refer to seitan, this would be a good video to refer back to if you are interested in preparing some. It's pretty easy to make and it's really delicious. So here we go. So the main ingredient with seitan is called vital wheat gluten. So that is a half a cup of vital wheat gluten right there. Wheat gluten is taken from wheat flour, separated from the flour somehow magically, and we result in a lot of protein in this little amount of flour. So like I said, about a half a cup. You pour this in, have my recently completed vegetable broth right here. I'm going to stir this in with the wheat gluten that I have. So half a cup of wheat gluten and half a cup of vegetable broth. And we add about 1 tablespoon of soy sauce for some flavor. And then we mix, and we're going to knead all of this together until it gets into a firm ball. The next thing that you do is you rip apart the ball into little pieces, which will form the shape of little cutlets. I guess it's sort of like a shape of maybe some chopped pulled meat. And the next thing that we do with this is we put it into some boiling vegetable broth with some different seasonings. To make the broth that the seitan will cook in, we have about 3 cups of water. We're going to add a vegetable bouillon cube in, and then we're going to go get about a teaspoon or a tablespoon of soy sauce, depending on how much you want, and we'll put in some minced garlic. We have our bouillon cube going in the broth. Now I'm going to add about a half a tablespoon of the Korean hot pepper, which will give it some nice taste. And then another half a tablespoon or so of soy sauce. So we'll wait for this to come to a boil. Broth is now definitely boiling. I added in about a clove of minced garlic as well. And now what you do is you take the seitan that we cut up before, right here, and you just set it in very gently. And what it's going to do is, after you've gotten it all in there, you'll turn down the heat to a simmer, and then you leave it for about an hour. Now the seitan is in there, cooking away. We've got it on simmer, and we're going to cover the top up. So the seitan is now cooking away in its pot. We covered the pot with the top, and the liquid is now all boiling away, and it's cooking into the seitan. So we'll know that the seitan is done when most of that liquid has boiled away. Normally that takes about 30 to 45 minutes. So we'll check on it as the time goes through, and I'll show you about when it's done. So already we can see the seitan getting a little bit bigger. Always a good idea to maybe stir it around a little bit. Also, since I don't have a huge pot here, you just have to be careful that the liquid doesn't start to foam up and boil over. So just every once in a while, if you take the top off to let it cool down, that's a good idea. So this seitan is all done. There's only a tiny bit of liquid left, which we will leave with the seitan so it can kind of marinate in there. And then we'll be ready to use it for just about any dish that we want.